from the insurance company, but I don't know how it works. You just, you pointed out, you don't know whether they'll pay labor on a windshield, so.
Well, I for one, I think you should be paid for it, because
Well-
if the work is done and he, it's been
Yeah.
quite some time that he done it.
Yeah.
So for one, I personally think that we ought to go ahead and pay him. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I do too, but I think we're caught between a pickle and a hard place because of the insurance. I think that Dan did the work, and I think Service Master kind of capitalized on the work, is what it sounds like to me.
That's-
So it's more of a question for legal matters, is what I think. We need to figure out what we need to do. I think we
Well-
need to pay him too.
It comes out of that total bill that they, and that $114,000 that they came up with. I mean,
But until we
how
have the
we,
insurance guy that says,
well, what we use that $114,000 for, does each little thing we do need approval from them? I mean, that's the way it's been up to this point, but, I mean, we just, as a board, we feel this needs paid.
You know,
I mean,
well, you can take it out of your appropriation, and then if insurance doesn't reimburse, you guys are out that portion of your appropriation.
and on that note, we would like to sign off on or whatever, go over whatever that settlement is, final settlement is, I mean, because it'll vary from that 114,000 somewhat probably, because of the mitigation factor that I pointed out. And anyway, we would like to, we don't want to just all of a sudden, well, it was approved and paid and this amount has to come out of our general fund, because we want to try to protect that, because we feel that it needs to be included in this insurance
Did you-
settlement.
You said they could pay it out of that other fund and then be reimbursed? If the,
If the insurance company approves it, if not, then they're out that much in their appropriation, their equivalent of 6 mil.
Well, that's why we would like to be involved with the insurance company at some point. We were disappointed that we weren't involved with meeting with an adjuster as we went through this stuff. We weren't in the loop then, but we want to be in the loop going forward if possible.
When does that guy get back?
Right, the end of this week.
Can the adjuster do anything?
On this, the Dan Wilkins, no, he's gonna have to wait, but this stuff, yeah, I would think so.
I mean, we need to move forward and get everything finished up. We thought we would have bids for the flooring, but we don't have yet. We really thought we would have by now, but everybody's busy. But we need to be able to move forward with a project, and then when we know what the final costs are, maybe it won't be a problem. Maybe that 29,000 will be covered in that 114. I don't know.
well, like I say, I for one, I think he should be paid now, because he's been waiting a long time and he did come
Yeah.
in right away and do it. It's
Yes,
not
he
like-
didn't wait to show up, so. Because I don't want any more phone calls about it, I know that.
Right.
That's not I'm not
Would-
getting
would-
paid for those calls.
Would you be good with what Leslie says? That
Whatever it takes to get him
Pay it
paid.
out of appropriations for now, and then
Whatever it takes.
continue the insurance fight.
Yeah. If that's what it takes, why?
If that's the way,
Does the insurance say that it's gonna take 114,000 to get it back in shape?
I think that's what they've allowed.
But is that how insurance works all the time?
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but here's, you would have a copy of this someplace, but like I said, their number was to do this repair work in normal business hours, and it wasn't. See, there's no allowance in here for overtime, Christmas Day, none of that. And that needs factored in, and I'm sure they're willing to. And then excluded items is emergency mitigation. And that was emergency mitigation that Dan Wilkins did. Almost all that he did was so I think that 29,000 is outside of the 114, the way I look at it, or at least part of it is. But, and then there's unforeseen damages that's listed there, so that 114,000 is a target, the way I look at it. I mean, you can read this page if you want, but there's still options.
Still, yeah, it seems like a target to me.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But do we don't have the 114 yet, do we?
Well, no, not that I know of.
I might just say something. On the benefit, as a committee member, we feel like the county's not getting a fair adjustment on this plan. I do personally. First of all, the scope of work they said they was gonna do is not included. They said they was gonna replace that entire tile around the area. That's not included in this. I've looked it over several times, and it's just not included. And so I personally, as a committee member, feel like the county, I owe it to you, the county, to say, Mr. Adjuster, come out here and tell us exactly what you're paying for, and tell us why you have to tell us who to hire. This, I guess I won't get out of my system until I see him face to face.
Well, I've been thinking about this a long time. And my feeling is right now, if this ever happens again, let's hope it never happens again.
Yeah.
But the gal up there, I can't even say her name.
Daphne.
Daphne. She needed to get the people out of there. I agree. She should have hired somebody to mop up the water and stop. Don't tear out walls, don't pull up flooring, just clean the water up and wait until the adjusters can get there, because if there's more damage, the adjusters are gonna, it'll get paid for. But we tore into it, and I don't think we should have tore into it. We should have cleaned the water up and stopped. And Daphne didn't do anything wrong, but personally, he should have just cleaned up the mess. And yeah, there might have been more damage if soaking up the walls and soaking up, but that's why we carry insurance. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
And he didn't have to, I agree, we had to go in there, but we had firemen up there working too.
They helped.
But
So
part of
I-
this goes to that emergency mitigation measure. And see, that would have been what Dan was doing when he pulled that sheet rock.
But here's the
Opened
thing,
that sheet.
gentlemen.
We got off to the wrong
No,
start. We did.
what it boils down to is the person that
Thank
can
you.
answer those questions is not a part of this conversation. And that is the people from K-Camp. And so I think what we need to do is to confirm when that gentleman's getting back, so that the concerns that the board has, those can be addressed with, what's his name?
The one that's gone,
Yeah,
James.
with James, because there is, we do have the estimate. And so those concerns that the board has can be addressed with him when he's back.
I agree.
And because we can't answer those
I know.
questions. We can't, we're just,
Because
Spinning our wheels.
James said he was paying, he went on vacation, Al, it got moved over to Al, I think it's Al. And he said, well, I can't pay two people for doing the same job, and that's where we're at.
so, I mean, that would be a stopgap if the board is willing to take that risk.
Well, we've got to move forward. I mean, because this has just went on crazy long, waiting for K-Camp to get back on scope of work. That took weeks, and waiting on an asbestos test, and it's just drug out
Too long.
so long.
Yeah.
We've got to move forward.
And in addition, if you need verification, they sat outside vapor for hours. So.
Service
we know they
master.
didn't work.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting this.
Yep.
I'm gonna make a motion to do that then.
And you're
I
talking
would like
about
to-
like,
Appropriations.
Well,
you talk
Well,
to
that-
somebody like Kelly Fruin, and he's got the utmost,
Could I have a
service
copy
master.
of
He
that?
thinks they are the best in the world.
I think they are, but these guys were from out of state, they weren't even local,
They didn't have any supervision.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They were waiting for scope of work.
Yeah.
Well, if you're good with paying like Leslie
Well, we've
says.
got to.
Okay,
We've
well,
got to.
Then in that case, I'll make a motion, we go ahead and pay them
Thank you.
Out of the appropriation.
out of the appropriation.
And I don't know where we're at now, I mean.
Eddie, you got a motion on the floor.
How much was that? How much was that, Eddie, for Dan?
The total.
The original had sales tax in it, so
It's 29.
that's the
All right,
number.
it's been moved and seconded to pay Dan Wilkins out of the appropriations for $29,179. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you.
Now it'll be a fight with James.
So the next thing, our board was somewhat surprised by the ad in the paper for bids to do what we're doing up there when there's a contractor already doing the work.
That's just, that's just part of our policy is to do that.
Okay, because I don't know, so that states bids need to be in by the 13th, so that, what does that do to our bids that we don't have yet on
We don't.
flooring?
We don't have any, so it doesn't matter.
So
Our
do you have
policy
to
is
op-
to advertise for 2 weeks.
Do you
We
have to
advertise for 2
extend
weeks.
that to take bids now on flooring, or? I mean, I'm just, want you to be sure.
Well, we're
you-
still needing bids, so. That took care of our policy.
Okay.
So that's all that did.
Right, just so it was made known that this work was going to be done, and any contractor that might be interested could.
Too late, it's already been done, but we bid. So, all right. But yeah, we want to be in the loop with K-Camp representative. I mean, that's part of the problem.
Well, let
Because,
me-
see, they okayed the rest of that hallway by phone, but it's not in that $114,000 to go ahead and do the rest of that hall.
That's why I think that the board just needs to set
Well,
up
we've got
a
to.
meeting with.
We want
with
to.
him once he's back, and
We
then
want
those
to.
can be, those concerns can be addressed.
We've been wanting that for weeks, so
Yeah, well-
that's on the right track.
I wish,
I'm not gonna touch that thing.
Tell me you have to do on this contract for the county next time, 'cause I'd rather deal local.
So, any other questions? James thinks he'll be able to take that plastic down sometime soon,
Okay.
but then he'll go ahead and work on the rest of that.
is Daphne okay with the licenses and everything? Is Daphne okay with the licenses that she was talking about? Because we had to do that emergency work and,
Well, I don't think so. She
Okay.
hadn't said anything
Okay.
recently.
good.
She did a nice thank you letter.
Is that what this is?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eddie.
Does that help out?
That helps out.
Okay.
So,
Hey, Marla?
any other questions?
No, sir, thank you.
And if any of you commissioners on that industrial, do you ever see him and like to come and listen on, I certainly.
We'd welcome
encourage-
that.
We'd encourage.
I will,
We
just-
would
just let me know.
appreciate
I'll be up there. I already met him
I mean, 'cause
once.
we want everybody
I
to,
don't think they're being fair to you, to be honest.
I deal with insurance every day. This is kind of typical.
so you like it. I'm tired.
Thank you.
Your
We're gonna live out
2023-01
here.
was approved. Your 23-01
Your highway.
was approved.
Okay, so we're good to go.
Yep.
Okay,
You guys have any questions for him?
No, I don't.
very good. We'll take care of it.
You know when you might do it?
He didn't know when, we get the snow off and the mud and, yeah.
Is there mud?
Once in a while, yeah.
April, man, huh?
Get money out that way.
It's a mess in your neighborhood.
Oh,
I went cross-country yesterday morning. I feel for you.
So you might have it done by April, you think, then, huh?
Yeah, maybe March, I don't know. But I can sure let you know when they're gonna do it.
If you're gonna feel
Just
for
like
him,
Steve.
feel for everybody in the county.
Oh, I
because all
know,
the roads are that
everyone,
way.
Yeah.
everyone.
Went out this morning and supposed to start calving the 1st of March, and there's 2 new ones.
Oh,
Thinking, lovely.
oh, Matt, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm supposed to start the 6th of March and I got 4 on the ground.
Hello, gentlemen, there's a blizzard.
Perfect time to have them.
How many heifers?
No heifers.
Oh, okay, well, it's not so bad then.
Yeah. So, okay, thanks, guys.
Yep, see you, Matt. Mila, you're up.
Alright, this is my yearly come, I need your signature, but I can talk public health all day if you want me to. So KDHE, no comment, what's the deal? Come on. Okay, so KDHE, Kansas Department of Health and Environment, we get a few little grants from them every year. We have to apply and obviously be approved and abide by all the rules. And so immunization wise, we get just a little bit, public health emergency preparedness, and our state formula one. And so it comes to $18,357. It's a lot less compared to the last couple of years because we've gotten COVID funds and we've bought equipment and it's gone for all salaries. So we've been pretty cheap to work for the last couple of years because of COVID funds. Those will run out for us in June. But so we're just back to doing our basic KDHE grants. So I just need a signature on this from the board member. If you guys want to take a look, it's just the amounts there. It's just a little bit to help with equipment, supplies, and then what's left over we put towards salaries on that.
I move that Mila can ask for a grant of $18,357. Where does this come from?
KDH.
KDHE.
KDHE.
I'll second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And we do quarterly reports and we're audited on all that, so we've done them for years and wished it was more, especially after coming off of COVID years, but we don't want the COVID pandemic, but
Want the
we'll
money?
take the funding though, wouldn't that be nice? So, yeah,
It's scary how much money was abused in that COVID deal.
yeah. Yep,
Billions of dollars.
yeah, yeah. Yes, it was.
Not around here.
No.
No.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, yeah.
We're scared to death.
Yeah. No, you have to be very careful, and we do too. I mean, we were always audited on all of our funding and everything, all of our hours. We kept track of all those. So, yeah, I'm just, they're talking May 11th where the FEMA is going to halt on all that. We're still giving a few COVID shots, not very many. We're trying to obviously get back to everybody, basic, normal vaccinations, that type of thing, getting people in. Are there effects after COVID that, we're doing more hearing checks? People feel like they can't hear as well or something. There's just a lot of things. I don't know
What?
Yeah. I caught you.
That explains a lot.
That's selective hearing, okay? There's a difference on all those, but anyway. Do you have any questions or anything for me, concerns, whatever? You're throwing things at me. So, anything public health wise? I don't get to see you too often, but like I said, I can sit here and visit with you.
Fine, but I'd like to go check my cows, so would you leave?
I know, it is starting to come down. It is starting. Roger,
Now you're all nervous that more cows are dropping.
I know, we started early too.
We had that conversation,
how it
it's like,
goes.
there's a blizzard
Pick up
coming.
a little more all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And so our last one that we got said 6 to 8 inches for our weather service through emergency preparedness. We get those. So hopefully if they do, they close the roads early enough
Yeah.
and that people aren't stranded because we do have to do shelter in place with people if.
Oh, you
so,
do?
Yeah, we do.
Do you have like a plan?
Yes, there's a plan, there's a
They've
committee.
used it before.
Yeah, yeah. It's but the key thing is getting the roads closed soon
You have to
enough.
feed them too?
Yeah, community people do feed them.
I'm stranded.
You're gonna be out in the pasture.
Better watch out. After last meeting, you were stranded out.
Thanks, Mila.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See, I was here early. Get you out there even sooner.
Yep.
I need to ask for 10 more
Alright.
minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel.
Thank you, Mila.
See you guys.
10 minutes non-elected. Have a good day. 10 minutes non-elected.
10
personnel.
minutes of,
Elected, or
Non-elected personnel.
executive session for non-elected personnel.
yeah, what he said. I'm asleep.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to have 10 minutes executive session for non-elected personnel. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.